Welcome. This is FoodWorks Colorado in Denver, Colorado. We have been around for 30 years, and we're in the 48,000 square foot manufacturing plant. Our mission is to nourish individuals in this community through the vocational training, life skills development, and the food provision.
The organization has been around since 1981 and operated really at the food bank level. Different from what Feeding America, of course, has evolved to. It was more in the recovery of salvage product. Years ago, there tended to be a lot of dented cans, crushed boxes that were still usable that would come out of the grocery stores, and there was a lot of produce available. Over the years, and I won't go into a lot of detail, that has just really diminished significantly and moved away. About 6 or 7 years ago, we started taking a very hard look at ourselves because there is a Feeding America food bank here that does a very good job in that part of food banking. What did we need to do, and what did we really need to look like to serve the community? And quite frankly, did we need to even exist? Probably the way we were at that point, we didn't need to exist. We served more of the inner city. We didn't charge for food going out the door in any way. But there wasn't a whole lot of food coming in, and the kind of food that really was coming in through that process was damaged. We could have truckloads of produce that may ultimately be 80% bad, and we would try to sort through and get the best out there. And so there's no consistent supply or whatever. And really what we came to find in the community is there were a couple of things missing within the food bank network. One is a consistent supply of some kind of a high protein nutritional product. The second was how to handle produce, how to keep some kind of amount of produce available year round, and what to do with what is there. And it tended to be feast or famine through so much of the harvest season. There was something available, but you'd also end up so much squash that our agencies really were saying no more squash, and what to do with it. So really we felt like we needed to address those two areas. That was a niche that wasn't happening. We looked at canning processes for that protein. We had done some private label canning. We produced a product through a private canner that was called Denver Broncos Chili. The problem we had with that product was that when you looked at the label, it was 60 to 70% fat, which did not work in the food banking community. USDA was at that point already talking about obesity issues coming out of food banks, knowing food banks are receiving a lot of sugary, high carbohydrate products, high fat products. So we had to start really looking back more at what kind of product would fit. And ultimately we came back to the product that we are producing, which is the chili bean product. Very high in protein, nutritious, so many ways to eat it. You can mix it with different things. So it really addressed that area. We realized that from a canning standpoint, canneries weren't close by. The one that we had used for private label canning actually had told us they were probably closing their facility. So the cost of doing a private label product through a for-profit business was going to be extremely high, and we were running into then transportation costs to get it here, and it was not going to work well. So we decided that the way to do this is actually build a cannery of our own, which we did, and we can share a lot of experiences with you. As this all came together and we started looking at this, we realized that we had a tremendous opportunity, knowing that we really had evolved out of food banking. We had become more a niche in the community that was serving food banks as well as other areas. What are we doing to take people into self-sufficiency? And looking at our facility and what we were trying to do, we realized that we really had an opportunity to start addressing the self-sufficiency issues in the community. And so we built the plant and put in the equipment not only for canning but for vacuum seal, for produce packaging, and went to work on putting together a real strong curriculum for that vocational aspect, and we built the vocational training program that we have today. Thus, the facility serves all of that. We take people to a level of self-sufficiency. At the same time, what we're producing in food is 100% usable, and that supply is year-round. It's not necessarily meeting all the needs of the community, but it serves the community very well.